There's got to be a first for everything. In the case of Angel Reese, that means she was the first player ejected in Unrivaled history. Now, it wasn't that big of a deal from what I saw, basically arguing with the officials, and maybe she said something they didn't like and she was tossed, but it was noted on the broadcast that it was the first. And then Reese went online and was not happy about it, firing off a bunch of posts in regard to it happening in the attention it received or the attention she receives. But, that comes with the territory. You have to remember, if you're one of the faces of the league, and Angel Reese herself asserted they're not just watching Caitlin Clark, they're here because of me as well. Well, that's what comes along with it, right? And it's not some sort of condemnation on her or doesn't speak ill of the rest of her career, and it's not really that big a deal. But it's certainly a newsworthy story that Angel Reese would be the first player ejected from Unrivaled just because of the name recognition and star power. That's why it gets thrown into the headlines. Now, I've talked about Angel Reese here, and I get attacked almost to the point where I don't feel like talking about her anymore, because I try to be fair in everything I'm doing, but some of her fans just know no matter what, it's unfair, and you can't do it. And I got to be honest with you, I do not generally, it's happened, but I do not generally get the returns on Angel Reese content that I do on other content. So it's not like I'm chasing views or, sensationalizing things. That's not the point of what I do. Of course, I want views. Of course, I want clicks. I mean, who doesn't in this business? But my point is, it's not, it's not like I'm like, ooh, here's a Reese story. Let me go. Because it delivers less for me generally than other things. And obviously, I've been known to cover Caitlin Clark in the Fever, but that doesn't make me, against Angel Reese. Right. And with the move here, or what happened here, and the stuff that comes at me online, people were mad that I did the video on the hot mic moment. Like, oh, you're gossiping. No, that was on television. One star said something about another star on television. The same thing if it were LeBron James talking about Steph Curry. I mean, that would be a story. People would write about it. People would talk about it. Doesn't mean it's some grand thing. It doesn't mean it should be blown out of proportion because it was just Huddle Talk. That does happen in Huddle Talk. It just happened to be picked up by the mic. But it's a story. It's a topic. You want people to put their head in the sand because it involves Angel Reese? And the same thing goes for this. Oh, why are you talking about that? I've covered other Unrivaled topics. I've talked about Angel Reese training at Unrivaled with Nafisa Collier and Lisa Leslie. There's a video on that. Look down. And this is a topic. Now, I think for Angel, my, actual recommendation would be, I think she riles herself up a little bit sometimes into that villain role. And look, she's got tough skin because she does get written about and talked about a lot. And some of it is unfair. Like there's nuance to everything. And in the case of Angel, I think she brings a lot of it on herself, but then she also gets a lot of it that is uncalled for. And because some of it is uncalled for, people then misconstrue the valid criticism and stories as part of that. Because not every, move she makes needs to be psychoanalyzed. And the girl has flourished off the court. I mean, her marketing deals, huge. She's getting paid. She paid off her mom's mortgage. More power to her. Amazing. And she's parlayed herself into one of the bigger stars in sports, to be honest. Not just women's basketball, but where her name matters. Now, I think that comes along with two things. Number one, her basketball performance and abilities, at least as far as being a WNBA star, are going to have to measure up to that off-court star power for it to be sustainable in the way it is right now. Otherwise, it becomes something else, and she becomes something else, which she, I think, at a different phase of her life, will go on to do successfully. But I'm talking right now. She has to build on what she did last year, which means improving as a basketball player. Notably the finishing, because the finishing is the thing that everybody's going to want to blow up and make viral and use against her. And look, not making layups as a basketball player is a big problem. It is. I'm sorry, it's not a small thing. It's not like you're picking on her. That is a major fundamental issue. At the same time, she's flashed her potential in so many other ways with her motor and the like. If she takes her game to another level, in combination with what she's been able to do off the court, that's something else. Then I would say it's almost like, you never want to have someone mute their personality or who they are. And I'm glad she's able to go out there and accept it and own it. Like, I think that's commendable. But I think she could dial it back just a little bit sometimes, as far as you don't have to respond to everything. You could take a deep breath, that kind of deal. Overall, look, some players just play with that. That probably comes with the territory of how she's wired and the way she plays in the first place, right? But and again, I've seen people complain to the refs and probably not be tossed for less than what happened with Angel. Because what Angel did was not that egregious. In fact, let me see if I can find you the video. This was what actually happened. I should have showed you this earlier, but here you go. This was what actually happened in the game. So she's defending. Looks like pretty normal defense. There's that intensity I'm talking about. Gets in there. Good defense, really. And she's mad about the foul call. She probably should be. So she gets the T for waving off the ref. All right. Now, if I'm the ref, I'm giving her a little bit more of a leash here. And she walks away. She's still upset here. Still upset. And then the ref comes back over. The ref probably should have stayed away, but I guess that's when she got the second tee and was out of there. She must have said something. It must have been, I don't know if it was the demeanor as much as whatever the words were that came out of her mouth at that point in time, would be my guess. I mean, that's just speculation. But then Angel was, clearly still heated after the game. But you always want it that way rather than the other way. You'd rather always have to dial it back than dial it up, because dialing it up is nearly impossible. But Angel also has to realize she's able to take it, but she also has to realize that's never going to stop. Like, the coverage of her, the people writing about her, and it's a headline-worthy topic. Angel Reese's first unrivaled ejection is just a headline-worthy topic as a story in and of itself because of the novelty of it and the name of it. And that's just the way the media business is going to work. So she's just got to be prepared, given her profile, Angel, to receive unrivaled attention, if you will.